It's showtime. Hey guys, Mike Healy here, and I am so excited that you guys are joining me again on another Facebook Live training. I am going to absolutely blow your minds. I got to turn myself down. You are going to love what I got to show you today. I am so fired up about this. It's been just amazing what's happened since the launch, and obviously, you guys are a complete reflection of that. I'm seeing the volume go up like crazy. The amount of people that are reaching out for help or have questions has just been outstanding. I see a ton of people just jumping on here. I'm gonna probably babble for probably 60 seconds, and I'm gonna jump right into it because I got a lot to cover. I got a PowerPoint that I'm going to show you on something that I put together this morning that I've been working on. It's kind of been going and spinning around in my head for a while, and I wanted to make sure that you had this because you're going to be excited about what I'm going to show you. Okay. So all that being said, like I said, I know people are jumping on. Make sure you always set alerts when I post one of these, especially if I do one where it's scheduled. You can always click a remind button so it'll let you know, and make sure you have your alerts and stuff ready to go because I typically will not do something that wastes your time. Okay, I'm not that guy. Okay, so good news is you're going to get some stuff out of this. So all that being said is this: you have the opportunity right now, as I'm going to go through this training, to we've already seen the vision of what the company's got going on, but I want to expand upon it just a little bit in a few areas. And most importantly, I want to show you how you're going to capitalize on the momentum and the growth of our company. Okay. Now, the other thing is some of you are going to see some of the same stuff I've done before in here, but remember that there are a ton of new people in here. Okay. A ton of new people. I've got people that are watching this right now. I saw your names go through here on who's watching, that this is your first Facebook Live that you've, jumped on here with me. So thank you for joining. I really appreciate that. You are not going to be disappointed. The community we have going on inside this Facebook group is fantastic. Okay. Another thing about the Facebook group, understand that if you, I police a lot of this stuff in here. So if I see something that's posted, it's not kind of gelling with the what I would like in there, I might just delete it. Don't take it personal. If I see some stuff that's old, a lot of times I'll just delete old things unless it's something somebody asked a question that I think could be repeated to people and so on. So it's all good. I know you guys are popping on here. I see a bunch of people on here. Again, I'm doing this in the middle of the afternoon. I didn't give you a ton of notice, but I got plenty of people on here. And if you're watching a replay, you're going to be excited about it. Okay. So here's my objective for this Facebook Live. It is I want to show you what you really have your hands on. Okay. That's my first goal. The second goal I have is to show you and give you some absolute tried and true methods of success, of getting you results. Okay. So what you have your hands on, getting the results, we put these together and goes like this, right? And you got we're going to fill your pockets with some cashola, put some coins in there, baby. Because, you know me, I had somebody one time criticize me that all I talked about was the money. And I asked him, well, where do you shop? Because I noticed that if I walked into Kroger, which is the grocery store up the street, and I said, hey, money's not important to me, and I walked out without their stuff, I'd be face down with cuffs behind my back, right? So let's be realistic here, people. Okay, so I'm going to jump onto my PowerPoint because I think you're going to really like what I have to do or show you right now. And this is going to be this is a training. You might want to take notes. You might probably also going to watch this a few times. So let me go solo on this, and I'm going to pull up my screen, and we're going to go big time on here. Okay. So I titled this training, How to Build Your iBuumerang Business Big, B-I-G, B-I-G, okay? Here's where the training starts, okay? This is a very, very important that you follow me on this. Like I've told you guys, or a lot of you know me, or a lot of you do not, but I'll tell you this real quick. I have 23 years of successful business, being successful in network marketing, about 23 years. I've been doing network marketing very successfully. What I have realized are just a few core things that make up really are the solutions and the secrets that you've been looking for. Most people, when they're taking a look at this opportunity or any business, especially in networking, is they ask themselves two questions. Is it worth doing, and can I do it? Is it worth doing, and can I do it? If you remember these two things, and then what I'm going to show you, your only goal should be to always try to answer these 2 points. I hope you got that, okay? Because when I'm talking to somebody, I'm always talking in word pictures to consider that, I try to talk to somebody about, is this worth doing? So that's why I cover those 5 points I've talked about. Then I know that they're always asking themselves, can I do it? Okay, so I always explain these types of things, the systems and so on. All right, so let's talk about the first one. Is it worth doing? Here's where I told you I wanted to expand a little bit from a different business perspective and really break this down so that you totally understand what you have your hands on. In marketing, and a lot of the stuff that that I've learned over the last 11 years of marketing, they've coined the phrase LCV in the marketing space of what they call the lifetime customer value. What a lifetime customer value really is from the time somebody joins, your whatever business that might be that somebody was selling, the entire duration of that customer, how much are they worth? Because if you can pinpoint that from a marketing standpoint, if you can pinpoint that, then your goals, where you have what you have to do to reach certain things. This is the number one reason people know if they can advertise to customers and so on. Okay. But I just want to point this out. Here's what I'm going to throw out to you. What if eventually a free customer that you generated could be worth $500, let's say annually, per year in your pocket? Okay, just think about that for 1 second. What if one free customer that you generated, or LCV per year, let's say, was $500? How could that possibly happen? I believe, and I've said this from the day I got in, and when I saw this model that they had talked about before they even launched this thing, that I believe that this was a doable thing. Okay, now I even put a disclaimer on here in case I have this video recorded or put it somewhere like on YouTube or something. Okay, no income claims are guaranteed or implied. Your results are going to vary. But I'm just hypothetically, I want you to think about this. With the iGo platform and all the things that we have to offer over a 12-month period, I would assume that the majority of people that you and I have talked to that have become customers are going to rent a car, use a hotel, book a cruise, go on a flight, right? If you start adding in other services such as mobile, Vibe Rides, which is those kind of things, right? These were things mentioned at the conference, okay, of the things, but don't, whatever you do, I wouldn't post a lot of this stuff either. Okay, we need to also remember the name of the game right now is not about educating people on Vibe Rides or on mobile because we don't know any details on it. Okay. The other thing is make sure that you focus that the iGo platform still works. But again, also give everybody a realistic expectation of what they have their hands on. Okay, realistic expectation about what they have their hands on, what the results can be. Now, I want you to start to let's daydream for a second. Okay, 12 months from now, let's say if we ended up with the different services that come out in a year's time, that 10 customers at the LCV of $500 to you annually, with just 10 customers at $500 a piece, that'd be $5,000 you would have in your pocket on a year after year after year basis. If you had 50 customers at 500, that's $25,000. If you had 100 customers at $500, that's 50,000. And think about this: 200 customers at a $500 LCV, customer value, $100,000 in income. This is just strictly from customers. This has absolutely nothing to do with team building, which I'm about to go over. Okay. From the time I joined, when I heard some of the things they had mentioned and knowing the industry, what is about to happen, because this month they're going to start paying out checks on the savings. Believe it or not, the most impactful stories that you're going to be able to promote are not the top recruiters and the top, team builders making $50,000 a month or whatever, or $50,000 a week, because that's not relatable to people. The greatest stories we are about to have at our disposal will be the people that are getting checks for giving away a free website that value like $30. I know that sounds strange and a lot of people don't understand that, but that is believable and people can see themselves doing it. Do you know the impact you can have in recruiting and introducing to people this business model when you can show somebody that you had generated a check for $100 because you gave away some free codes? Think about that for a second. This is what we have our hands on. Now, I want to talk to you about this because this is where the rubber meets the road. How do I get customers? Your number one single greatest asset that you have to have if you want to make a ton of money are booms, the boomerang codes. I don't think a lot of you guys really understand that and the significance of it. You get 10 for coach, you get 20 for business, and you get 50 at first class. Your 99 monthly gives you 10 more. And if you extrapolated that out 12 months, that's an additional 120. Remember the math I just showed you a second ago, right? Okay, your number one real estate, owning a Coke machine, owning a franchise are these boomerangs. We take them, we do take them for granted due to the fact that they're so easy to give away and we have them, right? Like when I heard that when I found out that they weren't letting anybody purchase boomerangs, and as soon as they had the first promotion, I busted my butt to get boomerang to hit whatever it took to get boomerangs. You know why? They're assets. Think about this. If you put this in perspective, exactly, think about a boomerang as you owning a Coke machine, because this will help you to understand what you have your hands on. If you had a Coke machine and you were able to place it at a pool, it's going to generate X amount of dollars, right? If you had one and you placed it at a gas station in the middle of the Kansas highway in the middle of nowhere, it's still going to do probably a little bit of value, right? You had one that was on the corner of Times Square. You just don't know which one of your Coke machines is going to produce, okay? But here's what I'm going to tell you right now. And I'm going to push you to do this because this is just you getting boomerangs as an asset, okay? And thinking like a business owner. You can only get 200. They said, because I communicate occasionally with the guys at the top with like T Gray and those guys. And I asked him, I said, is this going to go on for a while? He said, it'll be done in September. Okay. This is September 2019. I think I said 18 a second ago because I was watching it anyhow. But this month only, you can get up to 200. In my opinion, I always do what it takes to max things out. I do not, from a business owner standpoint, I do not operate from a, what do you call that? Like a minimums. I don't think in minimums. These are assets. These are assets. Boomerangs are assets. Start thinking like that. Okay. If you think about it, if you were on first class for 50, you pushed out a whole 12 months at the 10 and you got 120 more. So there's 170 and you picked up another 200. You're going to be, that's over almost 350, let's say, hit some promotions. You saw the math I showed you on some of those customers. Think about that. And even if they averaged out to whatever it was. Okay. Now I wanted to also show you this. I've never, ever mentioned how many Boomerang customers I've activated. This is my back office. I just took this morning. Top right corner, that's me. That's my TSA number. I personally have 124 customers. I didn't want you guys just to think that I had like all recruits and two, like 5 boomerangs out there. Okay. But I have a ton of boomerangs that I've earned from that. I can't buy them because I've earned way more than what they had in there. And I'm going to do what it takes to get rid of all my boomerangs because they're assets. If you think about it, you don't even have to, I mean, I'm all about building a team because it's leverage, but you can build, you're going to be, some of you guys have no idea the amount of money you're going to make just on your assets of having boomerangs put out there. So think about this. What if you had a team with customers? Okay, let's think aggressively. Let's be the team that everyone chases. When we all go to the next events and conventions, you want to be able to walk there and have posture. Okay? Posture comes from not doing the minimums, but going after the best, being the best that you can be, right? Doing whatever it takes. What if each TSA averaged 100 customers? And I just showed you, if you were on the monthly, you're at first class, and you got the 200 because of what you can purchase this month, considering and realizing these are assets, 100 customers is doable. 100 customers is completely doable. Okay. And if the average customer savings volume, now I'm going to show you this because what I showed you on a couple slides earlier had everything to do with your personal customers. What I'm about to explain to you now has to do with your team. These are TSAs, these heads right here, silhouettes, represent TSAs. Okay. And you want to know where I got the average customer savings volume of 575? It's from, I think it's slide 18 or 19 out of the corporate PowerPoint. If you didn't see it in there, it shows in there like where you have a certain amount savings. Because what you don't understand is when they take and somebody saves money, the full amount of savings QV, almost the entire full savings goes into the comp plan. And I'm not going to go into detail on it. And I did a dry erase board on this, that 575, think about this. If you had one TSA that had and each customer, right? Let's say the average customer was $575 annual savings, who had 100 customers, and you would override them just on people you personally enrolled, 100 of them at 10%, each TSA could potentially be worth $5,700 per year to you. Are you getting this or not? Do you understand what you have your hands on or not? Let's be realistic here. This is a business. I read an article today about how little income the majority of people make annually. And we have a business like this, and you wonder why I get up at 5:30 in the morning and I'm fired up and going to town on this. This is some amazing stuff. This is this kind of stuff that will keep you up at night. You know why? Because it's safe to dream again. This was one TSA. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can all count that high. Think about that. I actually, and the reason I can figure this stuff out is I've done it before. I've thought about this. In a company I was in 14 years ago, I learned how to be a good recruiter. I started recruiting people because I couldn't tell the duds from the studs, zeros from the heroes. I just kept putting people in. And after I got out of the company, right? So I'm out of the company. I think I'd put in my pocket in a 4-year period about $1.5 million. And what I did is I was like, you know what? I wonder, with all that money, based on everything starts from you, right? You have to go recruit. Based on everybody I recruited, what was the dollar amount that each one averaged out? And that's what I did. And I just multiplied it. The multiplier on this is insane. It's insane. And I hope you get it. The reason I stayed on this page is I want you to focus, stay on this. Think about that. How many TSAs do you want on your team? And we're not doing the minimums here. We're not doing the minimums here, right? Have a realistic expectation that you're going to go out and you're going to do whatever it takes, that you can go out there and get the people. And you don't know who's going to bring who in. You have no idea. You have no idea how many people could be joining your team business. So let's talk about this. Second part of this, phase one, is it worth doing? I think I covered that. I think you see that. Number two, can I do it? This is all you need to do right here is just realize anybody can do this business. I promise you, I am not as smart as people think I am. Okay. I figured out some puzzles. I figured out how to orchestrate some pieces, but what I have mastered is how to become, I've figured out how to become brilliant in the basics. Brilliant in the basics. I focus on the core tasks and I stay brilliant in the basics. So let's talk about customers. How are we going to get customers? First and foremost, the number 1 and the number 7 customer gatherers in the world, as posted on the big 100-foot screen, were Liz Pivito and Dr. Lorette Willis, who I just interviewed this week. Go watch those videos if you haven't. They're in the Boom Time group. If you have somebody that you just enrolled and invited into the Boom Time group, tag them in one of these. Have them watch these. They both of them broke down exactly what they did. Both of them. You want to see how I got my customers? A handful I got just personally talking to people. But I'm going to give you some examples of some posts that I did. And I want you to think about this for a second. Okay, let me pull my mouse up here. Let's start with this one right here, if you don't mind. Okay. If you'll notice the copy is what they call that. For years, my wife and I wanted to travel, but typically had to settle for low budget facilities, subpar transportation, and trailer park booze cruises. Okay. So in this, and you can go to my, after this thing, you can go to my Michael Healy page, or Mike Healy, but Michael's my personal, Mike is my business page. And you can look at this. If you want to copy and paste it, I could care less. Have at it. Tweak it a little bit, obviously, in case somebody's already seen this, go through their feed. This picture was taken 4 years ago in Aruba. This picture right here was taken 3 years ago in Cabo. Okay. Look at this one. Last night was too much fun. Over 80 people in our suite. This was taken in the convention this past weekend. On our Bahamas cruise. This was this one right here was probably 9 years ago. I took that photo. Okay. If you'll notice, they're just fun photos. They're fun photos. Our Bahamas cruise was epic. I didn't say I just did it. I didn't say I got it. All I'm trying to do is get somebody's attention. Here's some other posts. Okay. Because I'm targeting different people for different things. Let's start over here. Standing. Okay. Here's one of the reasons you want to get promoted as at least Sapphire. Is to walk across that stage and take a selfie facing the crowd. Standing on stage in front of thousands of people getting awards with the love of my life is just priceless. Look at the likes that got. 250. We are smiling and having fun. And by the way, not every single post I make is pitch you on the business, pitch you on the service. This is me, that right there, that short guy that looks like a hobbit. Okay. And what's funny to me, I don't mind making fun of myself. Like, this is my dad. This is my son, Isaiah. This is my son, Zeke, my 6'6" nephew, his uncle, my brother-in-law, and my 6'8" nephew. Okay. I'm definitely the shortest guy, but I post stuff like this too. You got to mix them in. You can't pitch everybody on everything. This I took 2 days ago. All it is I had my mom videotape me being dragged behind the boat, having trouble get a hold of me on a Tuesday afternoon. What did I point out? Lifestyle and fun, and I didn't say anything about the business. This one was more about a business, but you know what I did? I just did a quick video where I walked through the thing. People are watching you, but you have to, let me go back to this one right here. I want you to notice something in our faces. Every one of them, there are smiles on our faces, and we're having fun. Okay, people want lifestyle. People want lifestyle. Think about that. All right, you get the point. So watch those training videos, figure out some posts. Don't pitch everybody every single time, but maybe just tell some stories. Okay, let's talk about getting TSAs right now. The secret to success in network marketing is simply this. Get a large group of people to do a few easy tasks over a sustained period of time. This business is not a sprint, it is a marathon. This business is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and everybody can do it. And I believe that I've put some systems together, and you can watch the full training on the ATM launch strategy, but this works. I sponsored somebody yesterday on this. I sponsored somebody the day before because of this. Okay? The ATM launch strategy. All you're doing with the ATM launch strategy is simply using technology that people are familiar with. And it's easy. Remember, is it worth doing and can I do it? Every time you prospect somebody, the entire time you're prospecting and walking somebody through this business, subconsciously, whether they know it or not, they are asking themselves or thinking, am I going to have to do this too? That's why I have made systems so simple and I make it very basic for people. Okay. Interested prospect, invite them to our 5-star group. You tag them in a post and you message them. Let's look at this. One of the biggest things you have to understand why this works so well is that it's a very simple, duplicatable system. Everybody in MLM regurgitates the dumb word duplicatable. Personality standpoint, am not duplicatable, but systems are. Okay. If everybody is personality dependent, we're in trouble. That's why I like to create things that you can use my personality in a lot of cases. Okay. That's what makes this important. The other thing is everybody wants social proof. The business group right now, I believe now has, I made this slide when I first got it. There's probably over 500 people now in the 5-star business group. Shortly, this group's going to have 1,000 people in it, and then 10,000. And I believe in a few years, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe sooner than that, of people being invited in. I police everything. I've got a couple admins that help me. So it's only going to be stuff geared towards a prospect, savings, business presentations, and so on, recognition and results. Do you know what I'm going to do as soon as we all get our checks from customer savings, depending on how we can figure out how to do it? Post those in this 5-star business group. Hey, I just got my first check for save. Somebody went on a trip to Cabo, or let's say they went to a trip. They rented a hotel in Fort Lauderdale and saved $200. I made $100. This is so cool. That post right there is all you need. You see 10 of those go through your feed. Look at this automated follow-up. When you invite somebody to this Facebook group and they accept the invitation, whenever we post something or we approve a post in this thing now, it shoots through their feed. Fortunes in the follow-up, let us do it for it. Let me do it for you. Do you see how powerful this is? It's this simple. You go to the 5-star group, you click the plus button if you're on your phone or wherever, however you do it with your mobile or whatever. You find a person you want to invite and you invite them, period, right? And then you message them. So it's tag them in a post, message them. I got to have the tag post in here. I forgot that. I always leave a recorded message when I invite somebody in here. So if I was to grab my phone, I would say, hey, Liz, Mike Healy here. Listen, I just wanted to let you know I invited you into a business page on Facebook. It's secret. You can't find it anywhere else. We're doing some pretty cool things in it. But I also tagged you in a post that has a short presentation in there. If you get a minute, just take a look at it. We're pretty excited about it. Some really cool things are going on. And if you don't mind, just Facebook or message me back and we'll talk. And I could care less what I say. I could care less about what words come out of my mouth or how I mess it up. Doesn't matter. What's most important is the enthusiasm of me leaving this message. The most powerful thing I learned how to do was edify a step, a tool, a process, right? Perfect example. I did this to my friend Tony. That's Tony. Tony, I think I saw your name go through the feed that you're watching. So Tony Stewart and I known each other for many years. We've worked together before. I could not get Tony to take a look at this because he's already actively in something. And if I just called you out, I apologize, Tony. Sorry about your luck now. But anyhow, he's awesome, and I'm going to do an interview with him later. But I basically tagged him. I added him to the 5-star group, tagged him in the first post there, right? The short one. And I messaged him, and he replied back, "Hey man, I saw you ATM'd me." And I started laughing. I didn't even know he knew what that was. Of course, I should know that he knew that because it's a great strategy and people have been using it successfully. So we had some verbal conversations. 2 days ago, Tony joined. 2 days ago, Tony joined. Guess what? I answered him with a bunch of other just random. We didn't even talk on the phone. Okay. Think about this real quick. Success in this business is this: whoever tells the story the most wins. But don't let yourself be the message. Be the messenger. If you only ATM'd 5 people per day, 5 days a week, that'd be 25 contacts a week. You could do that when the light, if the light goes red at a traffic stop. 25 contacts a week, 4 weeks, 100 contacts. 100 contacts and only a 5% closing ratio. That's 5 new reps. The average rep on that obviously you'd be dual team qualified too. But if the average commission is $200, we're seeing per rep coming in, that'd be $1,000. You came in at first class. If you did that, you would probably see these results. You know why? Because the stories work. The presentation I do in there gets somebody's attention. Okay? Really important. Who do you talk to? I still talk to all of people I know. You know why? Because they still know me, like me, and trust me, and I don't have to build any rapport. Everybody in network marketing says that they don't want to talk to friends and family. You're right, you don't, but you don't have to. You just have to be a good traffic cop and point them to something that does the work for you. Do you get this? Okay. If you go through your Facebook friends, the majority of you have the majority of people have more than 300 to 500 Facebook friends without trying. If you just invited those people into the ATM system, and they don't have to accept the invitation, they can remove themselves. That's the best part about that thing. This is a big one. This is a big one, and I am going to hammer you on this. I'm going to show you something too about how many people I personally enroll, because I need you to believe in me. Okay? Every single conversation I ever have, in most cases, 80 to 90% of the time, I am always thinking or asking myself from a question or conversation, whether it's verbal, on the phone, Zoom, or in the Facebook Messenger or text, is there a tool that answers that? Okay. Is there a tool that answers that? That was my phone. There is. They just added all the ambassador trainings in the iBoom hub. Those are the interactive presentations. On this page right here on my rep training, if you go there and click on the start button, right? The start. This is exactly how I launch every single person that I have enrolled. I have an email that has welcome to the team. Here, go to this webpage and start here. Underneath of that, I already put the links to every one of the I decides. I've got the comp plan video. I've got the ATM launch strategy video right on there. Ambassador orientation. If you need those, you can go right on there and send somebody to those now. Somebody asks me a question, I think about, can I get them in if they're not already in, because somebody just randomly maybe talked to me about something that I didn't know, or they were watching Facebook posts, I try to get them and tag them into the 5-star business group as quick as possible to answer that. Right. And I, you know what too? I sent out an email to a bunch of people I knew to watch the YouTube video of the, cause I pulled that down and put it on my channel, the Holton Bugs whole hour and 45-minute speech. Well, who's going to watch an hour and 45? Anybody that's smart that sees Holton and listens to him for 10 minutes. And people called me up and joined because they watched Holton. And the one guy called me and said, I get it. I get it. I talked to that guy 6 months ago, right? Remember planting seeds? You never know when one's gonna grow. This guy, this is a guy that I've been communicating with. These were actual texts yesterday from left to right. He asked me some stuff. I said, you know what the best thing you could do, Sean, is listen to this recorded message. It'll do a great overview for you. And then after that, I want you to watch this interactive presentation that we get so you can see how easy it is to do. And then here was the presentation. I pulled it off the Facebook Live thing. And then obviously I gave him that. These 4 things, right? Recording sizzle, which leads them into IDASide so they can see the process, which gives this presentation where I go into detail, and Holton bugs. If this gets their wood wet, this basically finds out if they got a fire. This one says, you know what, I'm ready to throw wood on it. And Holton just comes in with a blowtorch. That's that's why this works. Is it working? This is my back office I just took. And believe it or not, the first class went up since this morning to 111. These are my personals. Okay. I didn't want anybody to speculate how many I had. That is 200, and right on this board, it's 209. I just sponsored my 210th personal. That makes me the #1 recruiter in the entire company in the world. So think about this for a second. I'm the #1 recruiter in the world in the company, and 3 of the top 10 customer gatherers in the world. 2 are personally sponsored, and 1 is sponsored by them, Terry and Felicia. These things that we're doing work. Okay? These things that we're doing work. If you follow what I'm talking about, processes, use the ATM strategy. Okay, I'm going to close this down. I'm going to give you some closing words in a second. Michael Jordan, you know what's so cool about these things? I'm going to just pop these real quick ones. These people learned how to fail faster. Think bigger, fail faster. Think bigger, fail faster. Missed over 9,000 shots. Okay, think about that. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. And this one, Bo Schembechler. Even though I'm a Buckeye fan, I still going to give credit to Bo Schembechler, former coach for Michigan. Those who stay will be champions. I thought that's one of the coolest sayings out there. You need to be on that stage. That is a picture from this past weekend's convention of the Sapphire training. Or I'm sorry, the Sapphire recognition. Holton gave the most amazing, life-changing speech to people about becoming a Sapphire. Okay. All right, I'm going to jump on. I'm going to go face to face with you guys now. All right, I'm back. Boom. Go like this. Boom. Do you understand? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That was my worst, whatever his name was on, I forget the movie. Anyhow, do you see what you have your hands on? You have something in your hands right now that could potentially be life-changing if you take advantage of it. Okay? I'm one of those guys that won't tell you what you need to hear, or I'm sorry, won't tell you what you want to hear. I'm the guy that will tell you what you need to hear. The only teachers I respected through high school, when me and my whole class were a bunch of goofball heathens, were the ones that were strict and told us what we want. The only ones I remember, the only people I respected were the coaches that were hard on me, not the ones that let me walk through. The reason I respect and like listening to Holton Buggs so much is because he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Okay? I'm telling you with everything in me right now that if you apply the things that I teach, they work. If you learn to be the messenger, not the message, become brilliant in the basics, stay as dumb as possible, and point to a tool. If you do that, you have no idea how much easier this business becomes. I can say less to more people because I'm not taking so much time to answer everything myself. And I say, I don't know all the time. Even if I do, I say, I don't know. You know why? Because the person I'm trying to recruit may think they need to know a bunch of stuff. But if Mike's making money, Mike's got results, Mike's doing well, but he doesn't seem like he's that smart. But all he did was text me a video, text me a website, text me a sizzle call. They're called sizzle calls. I had a guy leave me a message. I laughed out loud. Some guy from Sweden said, and I'll be blunt with this, WTF is a sizzle call. I live in Sweden. Okay. So I explained it to him. I thought that was hilarious, by the way. A sizzle call is just a recorded message that explains stuff. So I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Maybe you found it funny too. But if you do today, okay, right now, marching orders, last thing, and I'm done. If you haven't gotten your the booms that you can max out, that's up to you. Totally, I could care less. Okay, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go build my business. This is your business. One of the hardest things, it's point jumped in my head. One of the hardest things for people to understand when they become networkers is they are so used to being told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it from corporate America and being a slave to the grind. Okay. You have got to take responsibility for your results. You've got to be honest with yourself, take responsibility for your own results, and not listen to the naysayers, the, Billy Bob Broken Pores out there that got their opinion when they're sitting on their couch, smoking old mills and drinking Strohs. Okay. Remember, I've said this in a bunch of videos too. Don't take financial advice from somebody you don't want to be like financially. Okay. The wealthiest people out there are not doing the normal things. Okay. Create the future you want. Dream big. It's safe to dream again. You guys are awesome. I'm telling you, we are going to crush this. This is the team to be in. If you're not part of our team, I still love you. It's all good. I still give plenty of people my stuff to use and learn from. But you get the point. Okay. You get the point. You can go out there and do this. Not one single person listening to my voice is not capable of getting 100 customers over a period of time and becoming Sapphire. Not a single one of you. You're just going to have to make the decision whether you're going to do it or not. Okay? Think about that. All right. Did you guys get something out of this? Can I get some likes, emojis, hearts, whatever? I'm seeing this stuff rattle through here. I appreciate you guys. There's a lot of people on here for the middle of the afternoon. For realsy. Okay? Make sure you tag people that weren't on here. Make sure that you get people to watch this because I think that I put some good value on here, that you guys are going to get some good content, that you can go out there and believe in yourself to do this. Okay? And I can't wait to start recognizing everybody for all the things. But, and again, I wasn't trying to brag and show numbers, to blow you out of the water. Like I said, I've been doing this again, but I've done it because I've learned how to become brilliant in the basics, focus on the core tasks. I say less to more people, and I swing the bat as many times as I have to. Occasionally I get a hit. Every once in a while I hit one out of the park. Okay. That's the secret to success. If you're wondering, large group of people do a few easy tasks over a sustained period of time, and systems definitely help. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Go get those booms. Okay. Go in there, register them up. If they don't show up immediately, they're coming. You got till the end of this month. And if you get the max of 200 booms and then you won't be able to get more than that. But if you use up some of those, I think you can go get more. So I'm just telling you, I would do whatever you can. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the comments. I'm going to go through and watch this. So if you make comment, obviously I don't read them while I'm doing this because I got to stay focused. So thanks, guys, everybody. And I will see you on the other side. Have a good one.